A lot of us don't really speak in terms of the value of prayer. It's not like you can go to Walmart, pick up a 10-pack of prayer for $9.99 this week on special. But in Matthew, some of the verses, do not be as the hypocrites do, love to stand and pray in order to be seen of men. When you pray, go into your inner room. Pray to your Father in secret. When you are praying, do not use meaningless repetition. Your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. And also inner room has been interpreted as your closet. You go into your closet. And I have a friend who gave a class on Jewish idioms. And what he said the closet meant was they would take this like a structure, some little headgear thing with a curtain on it, and could draw it closed whenever they do the prayer portion of their service on Saturdays. And that's what they refer to as a closet. It would be closing them off, their inner room. And that's one way we pray, is just kind of sort of shut ourselves off from the world and say, Father, here I am. I need this. I really need this. I think somebody else or other people here, we need this. Again, everything you ask in prayer, believing you shall receive. Now, I believe that, I'd like to have a convertible red Mustang, a V8 engine, but, I may not have it, because I believe I don't need it. But we also believe that Louise needs to feel better. Our church is growing. It needs to grow. And we believe that, and we go to the Father and say, please help us in this belief. Help us manifest this. As we also know in our hearts, in ourselves, that closet we go into, we know that this is good, this is desirable to us, and we ask the Father for help. And I've heard one person interpret prayer as being not so much forceful, but more assertive prayer. Like, Father, here I am, and I want this. But yet it's a humble position too, because you are going to this the divine presence that is greater than what you know of as yourself, and say, I need this. I cannot do it alone. That's one thing that some of us in this world today we have a hard time with. Is that I can't do this alone. I need help with this. So who else do you go to except somebody, something that is greater than you, that knows the meaning of true love, absolute unconditional love? How many of us pray for our enemies, people we don't like, we don't get along with? It's very hard to do. Somebody that you drove along in traffic and all of a sudden 80 miles an hour from behind you and then just stop right in front of you or slow down. Oh yeah, that's kind of hard to pray for somebody that almost took out your front bumper and almost put you through the windshield. But that person wasn't obviously present in what they were doing. There was something else that they were bothered with, something that they took them away from that presence, that light, that clear consciousness. Something took them away from that, and they need help. Say like I don't know, let's put a super rich person that just shuns all charities and spends money like water on himself. Maybe he just doesn't understand that other people need help too. But instead of hating, pray for them. A lot of us would never think to pray for Osama. That's a radical thought, but think about it, he needs it really bad. In fact, I have him on my healing list. I keep him there all the time. And I'm not saying that one day he's just going to walk into Washington, D.C. and turn himself in and say, please forgive me. But I'll still keep that open. Please keep that possibility open. And God knows exactly what she's doing. Trust in that. That's also one thing. It's a vital element in prayer, is trust. And those are my minutes. All right. To whom do you pray? Now, of course we know God, but God itself is really hard to define as a concept. I mean, we know words, but yet we know a being that is all that there is, but yet we can also turn to our closet and speak to him, her, it. So is it a personal God, or is it a cosmic God would be one way to put it. But again, that's open to personal interpretation. Since the beginning, humans have found that we need to speak to someone greater than us. Since the time we've been hunting mammoths, and especially back then, we don't have a Walmart we could drop in at and go get some mammoth steaks. No, if the mammoths didn't show up, they starved. That was it. They couldn't get clothes. So yeah, they would find ways to contact a greater power than them and say, please send us this bounty. We need to eat. We need to clothe. And they, of course, in their mortal mindset back then, if it wasn't provided, then either the gods were angry, or they did something wrong in their prayers. And if they did come, then they were answered. But that's how it started, really, is that there was a greater need than just themselves. They would pray for the tribe, or for another member that was hurt, or for the weather that started approaching. That could be interpreted as desperation, and it's never a good reason, but as humans, we do have that trait of desperation, and it's fear. So one suggestion I'd have is not only pray for the thing that it's causing the fear, but pray for the fear itself. Pray to get over that, to get past it. Pray for yourself. It sounds a little selfish on the surface, but no, it's true. Because your thoughts, your beliefs, it starts with you. So whenever you do your prayer list, start with yourself. Bring me more light, God. Help me in my understanding of this situation, or of the way this person or persons are. God does not encourage judgment, ignorance, hatred. But if you find suddenly that those qualities start popping up, pray for that. I think I mentioned before in other sermons about a Buddhist monk that I respect tremendously. He said, treat the fear as if it was a crying child. Take care of it, comfort it, get it to quiet down. And then say, it's okay, I accept you as you are. And then move on.